Gifts we gave, but more you took, she snarled. So more in turn is due. In a blink, the girl was trapped inside a mirror. There. She's asleep.
What is with the creepy story? She's only 6 months old.
Woman at the store said it was traditional. A local tale. Besides, Rose doesn't seem to mind.
Because she doesn't understand it. Thank God. We moved here so that she wouldn't have to deal with any of that, remember?
There's nothing wrong with my memory. You're just being paranoid.
It's not... Never mind. I'm sorry. But I'm not paranoid. I'm just cautious.
Then, go cautiously take your daughter to bed. I'll finish dinner.
Resident Evil 8 is a game that actually surprised me. Coming off of the hype that was Resident Evil 7 and the return to form that RE7 brought back to the franchise, to say I was a little skeptical about what they were going to do moving forward with the franchise, I didn't have any idea. But to my surprise, they actually went above and beyond what they did in Resident Evil 7. I do remember somewhere that they said that Resident Evil 8, I think they said this somewhere, I'm sure they did. They said that Resident Evil 8 was inspired by Resident Evil 4, and you can really tell that a lot from the way the art style is in the game, the sequences and everything. It took the more serious tone that Resident Evil 4 really didn't have, and it put that into the Resident Evil 7 formula in like a very serious story. And I will tell you right now, we'll get more into it later on, but this is the best Resident Evil story that we have ever gotten, and you really feel the weight of it, and it's a very personal story, and I mean very personal, because this game, the ending and everything, you really feel for Ethan and him trying to get his daughter back from these people, because he's just a normal dude who was thrusted into all this, and it just sucks for everything that happened to him, and it's just sad. But that's enough of that intro, and what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first time you're watching any of my videos, welcome to. And in today's video, we are finally on the final Resident Evil game. Don't say we didn't play Resident Evil Zero. Don't say we didn't play Resident Evil 0, because the more I look online, the more I see that game is very annoying to play. But if Resident Evil Revelations 3 is announced soon, I will go back and play it. I promise I will. But in today's video, we are going to be reviewing Resident Evil 8 Village, one of my personal favorite Resident Evil games, and it's funny because it just came out this year, but it is one of it's one of the best Resident Evil games we've ever received. And it does have some flaws, and there's some points of the game you can tell that they could have done a lot more in. There's some sections where you tell that they put a lot of effort in, but overall, this game is a very good game, and it is a very good way to end off the Ethan Winters story that we had. It is very sad. I will say though that this game it's just sad. It's really sad. This is not a game where you're playing like you laugh. This is a very it's serious. I really when I played Resident Evil 4 and 5 and 6, you could really laugh. But 7 and 8 really have this grounded, real personal story in each of them. A member of your family is gone and missing, and it's up to you to find them in each of these games, and it just is really more grounded and personal and stuff. But like always, we're going to talk about the gameplay, because this is some of the best gameplay that we've ever had in a Resident Evil game, and the story, and then my final thoughts on everything. So let's get right into this. The gameplay of Resident Evil 8, it builds upon what they had in Resident Evil 7, and should I say, they really improved on what was in Resident Evil 7. The guard function has now upgraded to be able to push enemies away once you are hit from them, and they also stagger any enemies that are around them. On top of that, the gunplay now feels so much better than it did in Resident Evil 7. And on RE7, it kind of felt like you were like trying really hard to like aim. The bullets would never hit. To me, it just really felt like everything was inaccurate. And Resident Evil 8 really fixes that. While every gun, it feels amazing to use. One of my favorites to use actually is the what is it called? The M1911, I think that's what it's called. It's a full auto pistol in the game, and it's honestly one of my favorites to use, especially in the mercenary mode when you upgrading stuff. The gunplay in this game is phenomenal. Phenomenal? Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah, all right. On top of that, the upgrade system for guns does return, and every gun has 1 to 2 upgrades. And then some of them are bought from the merchant, which we will talk about the merchant in a minute, but some of them are also found out in the world. Some guns are bought from the merchant, but some guns are also found out in the world. And on top of that, the merchant system from Resident Evil 4 returns. And you can upgrade your weapons, you can sell treasures, and the treasure system from Resident Evil 8 does return. Resident Evil 4 does return, so you can combine certain treasures to make them more expensive, and you sell them. There are also like little treasures around the map that are like very worth a lot of the game's currency. I think it's called like Lil or something. And then the inventory system is just like that of Resident Evil 4. It's so fun just to see it. It's one of the most satisfying inventory systems to use. So there are no item boxes in this game. And then the crafting supplies actually do not take up inventory space anymore, which is just amazing. You don't have to worry about those anymore. And then what else do they have? Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much it about the gameplay. It's very heavily inspired by Resident Evil 4. And that's not a bad thing at all. They, like I said in the intro, they took all the great things from Resident Evil 4 and just upgraded it. And they also took all the great things from Resident Evil 7 and upgrading it. I really don't have a single bad thing to say about the gameplay. It feels very good. And on top of that, the merchant also has, if you remember in the previous game where you got to like find like steroids to boost your health and like increase your reload speed, there actually is now a food system in this game, and there are certain animals that roam around the village, and you can kill these animals, and there's like special animals that you can kill and get their meat, and you can like create where you your guard does more, it blocks more damage. You can have your sprint speed upgraded, and your sprint speed, I'm telling you, once you get that first upgrade, you feel like you're running, you feel very good. But all in all, this game is very fun. It's some of the best gameplay that we've had in any of the Resident Evil series. It's so fun. In fact, I've actually started trying to complete it as fast as I can, with unlocking everything and stuff. It's a phenomenal game. And then the extra content that they have, like they have a lot of extra guns you can unlock after you complete the story. They have a lot of like challenges you can complete, and then the Return of Mercenary mode, which was in, I'm pretty sure, Resident Evil 6. But it's fun, and there's like a really special weapon you can unlock. I think it's like a lightsaber or something. But like I said before, the gameplay in this game is phenomenal, and it's one of the best we've had. Honestly, this is like a complete upgrade. It's when they want to, they know how to upgrade their games and stuff. But if you don't even care about the story, the gameplay alone it's perfect. But yeah, let's get right into that story.
And mine to me. With Heisenberg gone, you've lost your lead. What are you going to do?
I don't know, but I'm saving Rose.
You'd never know, do you? Even when I took Mia's place in your home. Poor Ethan.
Who are you? Where's Rose?
Enough. Remember Evelyn and her power over the mole? Rose is her successor. No. Rose is Evelyn's true, complete form. She will grow to fully control the masses. And I must have her.
Fuck you, you crazy bitch!
Calm yourself. Rose will be saved. The Megamycete catalogs all of us. However, she will be reborn as my daughter.
She's my child, not yours. Where are you? Show yourself!
Why did Rose come to be? Was it because of her parents? And you are truly a special case. But I've learned all I can from you. Your worth as a lab rat has run out.
Miranda! You coward! Come out and face me!
Resident Evil 8's story is, like I said before, one of the best that we've had in a while, because it's honestly a very simple one. Ethan and Mia have moved to Europe 4 years after the events of Resident Evil 7 to get away from everything. And then I think it's like they just had their kid and everything, and then Chris comes, kills Mia, and then everybody's freaking out and shit. They don't tell Ethan anything, and then they go away. The ship crashes, he sees a castle, and now you're just thrusted into an entire village where werewolves are killing everybody and stuff. And then, of course, it's revealed later on in the game that Mother Miranda was actually disguised as Mia, and the reason why they didn't want to tell Ethan because they didn't know if maybe he was like compromised. The mold is actually very much expanded on, and it's revealed that the village is actually built on top of the where the mold originates from, and it's called the Megamycete, and I finally said that right. But it actually turns out that the mold has genetic copies for everybody who is basically infected by the mold. And it explains why scenes like when Jack Baker was talking to Ethan when after he was woken up from the mold by Mia in Resident Evil 7. And it is also revealed in one of the most tragic scenes ever that in Resident Evil 7, Ethan actually died, which was one of the most saddest. And like, it was, when I seen that, I was like, what? But it's revealed that in Resident Evil 7, after getting your arm cut off and knocked out by Jack Baker, you were actually killed that day. But then you were revived by the mold, and this entire time you've been like mold who thinks he's Ethan, and it's a really weird thing. And it does explain why the damage that Ethan takes throughout each of these games, it just seems so minimal to him. If you can see the one scene in Resident Evil 7 that happened when Ethan gets his leg cut off is, for example, even in this game when Lady Dimitrescu cuts Ethan's hand off, multiple times Ethan is impaled, and what should actually kill him, it actually doesn't. And it broke my heart when this was revealed. And the final moments of this game, when because the overarching plot of this game is that Mother Miranda, who it is revealed that she has ties to Spencer, and you who is the founder of Umbrella, and you do see the Umbrella symbol a lot throughout these games. But Mother Miranda is like from over 100 years ago, because the Megamycete keeps her alive, and she has like how she impersonated Mia. She has the ability to mimic anybody's appearance, including even like a corpse. But her goal is to revive her daughter who died during the Spanish flu, and she wants to use Rose to do that because Rose is a mold baby. And it's weird because Rose is like, technically Rose was born from somebody made completely out of mold. And it's just weird, but she doesn't succeed and stuff. And of course, this is the final game where Ethan Winters is going to appear. And it's sad. The final moments of this game, it honestly is very heartbreaking. Seeing Ethan gets his heart ripped out, and basically through sheer power of give me back my daughter, goes and he survives at a point where he should be dead. And Ethan, in that regard, I know people didn't like him in Resident Evil 7, but Resident Evil 8 made Ethan Winters one of the greatest characters in the Resident Evil franchise, and I don't say that lightly. The way he acts in this game and the way he gets shit done in this game, it's just no nonsense to him at all. He just wants his daughter back, and it's one of the coolest fucking things ever. But overall, I enjoyed this game a lot. There is also a secret ending that involves Rose, and you do see somebody walking towards. I know I'm spoiling everything, but this game's been out for a while. This is a review. If you don't want to, this is like a review. But the story, I loved it. Everything about the story. There was certain parts where they rushed it, like House Benevito. I can know that was probably rushed, and Moru. I know his section was most likely rushed because those were the quickest sections in the game. Castle Dimitrescu and the Stronghold were the most like fleshed out area, and the village. Overall, other than that, the game is amazing. Of course, it's pretty weird at the ending when Chris just turns into a full just mecha builder, and he just builds a random ass mech machine like out of alloy he found. It's just the weirdest shit ever. But the mold, I love this game. This game is perfect. I do recommend you guys go play it. All the extra content will give you hours of fun. The story is amazing, to the point where I'll run it from time and time again to him just experience it, because it is a good story. And the final like section of the game where it says the father's story is over, honestly, it brought a tear to my eye when this game first came out. But I do recommend you go play this game. If you don't want to play any other Resident Evil game, I do recommend you go play Resident Evil 7, 8, and stuff, because they do feel like their own self-contained thing. But anyway, so that is going to end off this review, but not the Resident Evil franchise, because we do have one more video to make for the Resident Evil series, and that is the overall, like, overarching review of the entire franchise, instead of just the individual review for the game. So look forward to that, because that is going to be actually a very, it's not going to be, because usually when I make these reviews, I just get out my thoughts without a script or anything, but these, the franchise review are going to be very put together, and they're going to take time. But before that, we are going to be starting a new game, which is going to be, I'm pretty sure I'm starting God of War. Don't quote me on that, though. I might be starting God of War. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. All of these videos. I know I enjoyed this franchise, and it was a blast playing it. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss the final review for the entire franchise, and you don't miss the new game when I start it. And there's also a couple games that we have to finish, like Deathloop, Skyward Sword, Final Fantasy VII, and all those will be finished in due time. But that is enough of this video. I hope you guys are having a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out.
Rose! Shh. Shh. It's all right, Rose. It's all right. Ethan!